This has serious implications for the Houston Rockets as changes are coming to Toyota Center for this upcoming season, and NBA Cup schedule and groups have been announced. We'll dive into all of that in this video. And can the Houston Rockets seriously win Group A in the Western Conference for the NBA Cup? And we'll take a look at the schedule. We'll take a look at who's in the NBA Cup Group A along with the Houston Rockets. And we'll talk about the changes that are coming up to Toyota Center this upcoming season. Welcome in, everyone. I am your host, Munaf Manji. Glad to be back with you guys to talk more Rockets basketball. And we'll get into it here momentarily. But again, need your help with a quick thing if you guys can do it for us. We're about ever so closer to getting to 8,900 followers on this episode and on this video and on this Rockets channel. If you do us a huge favor, just hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, share this video and this channel with a fellow Rockets fan in your life. Let's bring Rockets Nation together and talk about our Houston Rockets. But again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button right below on this video. And as I mentioned, the Houston Rockets are going to have some changes coming up to the Toyota Center. And let's start there. A tweet and information dropping as of this morning that talks about the changes that are coming for the Houston Rockets for the 2026 and 2027 season, I should say. The Rockets are changing indeed and moving back the start time for the upcoming season. And Ben DeBose, who does cover the Houston Rockets, he mentions for the 2026-2027 season, the Rockets are indeed moving back most of their home tip-off times to 7:30 local time per sources. Houston's ongoing Toyota Center imagined renovations project is one reason, but there are other reasons as well. So that tweet coming down, I think this is going to be beneficial for the Rockets. And they put up an article on Clutch Fans here. Let me make it bigger for you guys, but they said after we had a lot of years where they moved up the start time from 7:30 to 7, right? We know it's like 11 minutes later to be exact if you want to get meticulous about it and pinpoint it. But I think this is great. Number one, we know the traffic in Houston, and also the biggest gripe for Rockets fans, especially at Toyota Center at the start of games, has been it looks like an empty arena. And a lot of that, yes, maybe has to do with the start time at 7 p.m. for the Rockets. And we know what downtown traffic looks like in Houston and how hard it is to get to Toyota Center, what part of town you are in. Maybe you have to leave 2 hours early, maybe an hour and a half, 2.5 hours early just to get there. So I think the 7:30 start time is going to be beneficial for Rocket fans. And I think the players as well, right? And I think this was, for many years, we moved up the start time to 7 p.m., but now pushing it back to 7:30. So that now doesn't give a lot of excuses for the Rockets fans to show up on time and fill the seats at tip-off. But as I mentioned, and the article mentions that, with rush hour traffic and congestion and this was a lot of the feedback that they got from fans and fans being rushed after work or from school or extracurricular activities. And also the construction that is going on in Toyota Center with a new project that is expected to be completed next year. It's another issue as well. So I like this change here that came in for the Houston Rockets. I like the time change here from 7 to 7:30. Again, gives more an opportunity for the Houston Rockets fans to get out there, fill the seats at tip-off, because typically we've seen a lot of times it just looks empty at the start of tip-off at 7 o'clock. Also coming down, the NBA Cup Group A for the Houston Rockets. We'll get into that here. So Rockets will be in the Western Conference Group A alongside with the Dallas Mavericks, the Utah Jazz, the Denver Nuggets, and the Phoenix Suns. That will round off Group A in the Western Conference. Honestly, I think the Rockets have a big opportunity to win this group here and advance and be obviously one of the teams advancing to the knockout round of the NBA Cup. Because again, I'll be very brief with this team, right? The Dallas Mavericks, yes, Cooper Flag, you get Kyrie Irving back, but again, the depth really isn't there for that for the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, the Rockets coming in with this roster, I think they could, take care of business against the Dallas Mavericks. Same thing with the Utah Jazz, right? They lost Walker Kessler in the offseason, a lot of young pieces that are there. Young players tend to turn the ball over a lot. I think defensively, the Rockets can give the Jazz a lot of problems. Denver, I think they're going to take a step back this season as well. Didn't do a whole heck of a lot in the offseason to really surround Jokic and Jamal Murray and what they've been dealing with, in the offseason and the payroll that is taking up a lot of space, I should say, for the flexibility that they can build around the roster. I think that one team, just for motivation purposes for the Rockets, is going to be the Phoenix Suns. That could give them a little bit of trouble. Obviously, Devin Booker, and we talked about the former Rockets and the trade that we did have, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green there as well. So they have a really nice roster that they put together in Phoenix there. So I think that's one team that I do think that can give a little bit of an issue to the Houston Rockets, right? That extra motivation in there as far as, players going up against their former teams. And also the Cup schedule dropping in here as well. We take a look at that. So the Cup, at least the group stage games, are typically on Wednesdays and Fridays. So Rockets do have 3 games on Friday and 1 on Wednesday. Schedule is right there. The first one will be in Dallas against the Mavericks Friday on October 30th. And then we go to November 13th against Utah at 7:30 local time. And then Friday, that'll be a home game, the Utah game, of course. And then we go to Denver, and then the Phoenix game, as I mentioned, could be the one that the Rockets could have a little bit of trouble with. But at that point, I think we can go at least 3-1 at minimum. This group stage, we talk about the point differential and all of that here for the Houston Rockets there. So group stage being announced. The group who's going to be in our group, as I mentioned, Dallas, Utah, Denver, and Phoenix, along, of course, with the Houston Rockets. And then, of course, the time change there for the Rockets. So big updates here coming in and big implications for what that could mean for the Houston Rockets fans in Toyota Center and also for the group stage. I don't see any odds out. Again, if you are a bettor and you're looking for those group stage odds, I don't think they are out quite yet. But tomorrow, the full schedule does drop for the NBA. We'll dive into that and we'll see what that looks like for the Houston Rockets. But again, right now, we do have, number one, big changes at Toyota Center. The start time being pushed back from 7 to 7:30. And then the NBA Group A in the Western Conference, which will be featuring your Houston Rockets, the Dallas Mavericks, Utah Jazz, Denver Nuggets, and the Phoenix Suns. So definitely excited for this upcoming season. There's, again, things happening around the team, with NBA Cup and what the Rockets are going to look like if they can go on and win the NBA Cup. I know that they've had their opportunities, but I think this is a good opportunity to get out the group stage round for the Houston Rockets. So let me know what you guys think about the time change as well for this Houston Rockets team. And also, do you think they can win Group A here alongside the teams that I did mention there? I think there's a good opportunity. I think at minimum they should go 3-1. I wouldn't be surprised if they get to 4-0. That's not my bias as a Rockets fan, but I do think the opponents that they do have, that, again, they match up very well against those teams. And again, I'm curious of what you guys think about the start time being pushed back from 7 now to 7:30 local time for the Houston Rockets. So again, back tomorrow, we'll talk about the NBA schedule being released, what that looks like for the Houston Rockets. And again, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel here with Rockets Digest Media. Hit the like button on this video. We truly appreciate if you guys can do that for us. All right. With all that being said, have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys very soon again. Take care.